When companies go out to the countries that make their goods, they find themselves in some weird and wonderful places. You go into a lot of places where human rights are not well known and where labor laws are not well developed or not enforced.
So what is important is, first, yes, we have to see the problem, but then we have to find ways to solve it.
There was a feeling that one needed to define more clearly what human rights and freedoms were to mean. But as never before had a group of countries coming together tried to agree that this was one of the basic elements of peace.
It's a very innate human characteristic. People determine themselves by their position in their community, in their society, and they want to have a life in dignity. They want their young people to have an opportunity.
And for the first time, many people have gained the knowledge that they had certain rights and freedoms and aspirations that they were really could strive to achieve.
Employers, workers and governments operating together. There's no more legitimate standard for a company to follow at work. We do that for companies all the time. We help them translate the Universal Declaration and the ILO conventions into simple procedures that can be followed in a factory.
Every 2 weeks in the big yards, and our factory managers will stand outside the platform and declare the new regulation will be reinforced. So we have time for education and training. At our factory's positions, we want workers to fully understand their rights.
Companies realize that, in fact, with outsourcing, you can't outsource responsibility.
Today, corporations realize that they have a great opportunity to actually contribute to the change. Now we believe that it's got to be an inherent goal and objective for the company to actually contribute to positive change, conflict resolution, standards in factories, social environmental standards that we can raise over time.
I say to young people, become a good consumer, consume fair trade goods, understand that you can influence.
The national governing agencies have unfortunately often broken down, and we've been able to compensate for that breakdown in governance by creating new networks which can ensure rights.
I think if we're listening to poor families around the world, they actually want to work. It's a very core issue, and we have, I think, not sufficiently noted that it's also, under Article 23 of the Universal Declaration, a human right.
And if we, as a corporation, as a brand, can actually impact change in those factories, I think we're contributing to the human rights.
It's a dream that one day we will wake up to a very simple fact that stares us in the face, that we are actually family. And yet, I mean, when you look at how the world operates, you realize that it is because we are breaking this fundamental law of our being, that we are family, that we have so much of a mess.